Hey everyone, and welcome to this video on the historical decks that I like to use. These are just a couple of historical or traditional decks in my collection, and I wanted to make this video because they both give me a kind of similar flavor, and I thought I should share this with you guys because it's been an excitement of mine working with these decks and exploring the symbolism more deeply. So the deck that I received recently is called the Ancient Italian Tarot. This is the back, which I absolutely love the back of these cards. It is absolutely gorgeous. There's so much detail and it's just so beautiful. So we have La Papessa, which is the High Priestess card. And again, so beautiful. I just wanted to give you guys a little bit of a walkthrough of some of my favorite pictures and some of my favorite cards in this deck, and talk a little bit about reading pip style, because it's not something, like I said, that I do very often, but I do like to explore other systems of tarot, and I find that it kind of helps open up my intuition when I try different systems and when I explore things that I haven't maybe done in a few years, which is kind of how it was with pip decks. I had gotten some pip decks a few years ago and I was working with them, and then I just kind of moved more into just I guess I shouldn't say pictorial, because they all have pictures, they all have illustrations, but the pip decks are numbered, so it's basically just the number of the suit. So for example, here we have the Four of Wands, and so we don't see a characteristic scene that we would normally see on a scenic or a situational kind of depiction of the Four of Wands, where we might see a family getting together, celebrating something. Here we just see four wands, but the detail is amazing and so rich and beautiful. For the majors and the court cards are still depicted with humans, so, or just, different, whatever deck you're working with, it could have humans or it could have some other type of situation depicted on it. But with the Hermit, I just love this Hermit. It's so beautiful, and he just kind of looks a little bit suspicious almost. He looks like he's kind of definitely somebody who holds themselves apart, definitely somebody who is defensive of their personal time or their personal kind of awareness. He wants to kind of have his space, but at the same time he's holding that lantern of wisdom, so he has his reasons for being a hermit. And I just love this artwork because it was originally, the original version that this deck is based on was from, I think, 1835 was when the artwork was created. And then this deck, the actual images on this deck are from 1880. So it's quite an old deck in comparison to the modern decks that I use normally. And I find that it just has such a different flavor to it, especially when you are tuning in. For example, if you meditate before you do a reading, this deck really does it gives me this feeling of spaciousness or presence, almost like the closest thing I could kind of relate it to is if you've ever been in a house, if you've ever walked into a house that had the power shut off to the whole house, when you're walking around the house, it just has this very calm, clear stillness to it. Because there's not even any power, any vibrations going through the building at all. It's just totally silent. And there's a subtleness to that, but it's very powerful. And that is kind of like the feeling that this deck gives me, is it kind of connects me to an older time. It connects me to, the artwork at least connects me to a time when, like, everyday waking consciousness was not so influenced by technology. So it's interesting. I do find that kind of energy is transmitted through the artist's work. And the more kind of quiet that you get with yourself when you're working with a deck that has older artwork on it, I feel the more that you kind of tap into that stillness, which I personally find very relaxing and very kind of peaceful in a way. So there's a star. We've got the sun, which I love. And the moon. This is one of my favorite moon cards. I just love the giant lobster. Like, why is that lobster so big? Doesn't make sense. But yeah, I'm loving this. So we've got the Three of Cups just to show you some of the numbered pip cards and the court. So we have the King of Cups here. And of course, there's some cards in both of these decks that I'm going to show you today that are not really my favorite, but I'm just showing you the ones that I really love and that I think just are so striking. For example, the Two of Pentacles here, and then I love the Ace of Pentacles too, is just amazing. So we have the Three of Wands and Page of Pentacles. Good little student there. And we have the Queen of Pentacles, holding up her pentacle. So here's the Ace of Pentacles, which I just love so, so much. You really get the flavor of the time period and just the intricacy as well. I mean, all of this was, I think it was wood. It was made, etched into wood. And then we have the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Cups. So just gorgeous. I'm just really loving this deck so much. And I haven't used it for too many readings yet on a personal level, but I just love to almost journal with it or just kind of go into the images with an open mind and just kind of explore the feeling that it gives me. So it's really beautiful. So that's the Ancient Italian Tarot. If you're interested in getting a traditional deck, or if you've been in the market for a pip deck and you want something that has a little bit of an older feel, but it's not one of the really expensive kind of more like handmade ones. I know you can get some that are based on this artwork that can be really expensive online, but this one is a really good option, the Ancient Italian Tarot, and that's by Scarabeo as well. So the other deck that I wanted to show you guys is the Golden Tarot by Cat Black. So I have the box here, and this is not a new deck to me. I've actually had this one for quite a long time, and I love it. I don't use it every day or anything like that, but it is one of those decks that when I'm in the mood for it, it is the only deck that will suffice. Like, I must have it. When I get in the mood to do a reading with the Golden Tarot, it's like I just have to have it. So I just love this deck. So here's some of my favorite images, and this is not an exhaustive list, but I just didn't want to make this video way too long for you guys and just kind of talk your ear off. So, but here's the Ten of Cups, really, really sweet. And so the beautiful thing about the Golden Tarot is actually that this artwork, and I'll show you guys the back as well, this artwork is all collaged from the Middle Ages and early Renaissance period. So it's every single card that you see is collaged images from old European artwork. A lot of it has come from churches. A lot of it is religious based because a lot of the art at that time was very religious. But basically what she's done with this deck is that she's taken real images and cut them out and kind of applied them together to create a deck that is actually very true to the Rider-Waite-Smith tradition. The pictorial keys of the Rider-Waite-Smith are very well represented. For example, with the Eight of Wands, this is such a beautiful Eight of Wands card, and with the sash and the bird and everything just about this, I just love this deck so, so much. So if you're interested in getting a deck that has some traditional artwork, but it's all traditional artwork, but it's been compiled in a collage, so it's been compiled in a new way. So each of these images is not, like, this itself isn't a Renaissance painting or a Middle Ages painting, but each element of it is taken from a Middle Ages or an early Renaissance painting. So it's just such a beautiful concept, and I feel like she did such an amazing job with it. And so I do love this deck when I'm in the mood for it. Something about it is just so comforting and sweet. And even just sometimes like the visual darkness of this deck really speaks to me and really is almost like a source of comfort. Look at all these little animals that the magician has with him. It's just so beautiful. And oh, I love this Ace of Cups. You really get the feeling of something sacred when you look at this card. So this is another one of those decks that really gives me that feeling of presence, or it gives me that, it helps me tap into that kind of older world kind of simplicity in terms of consciousness. I love it. The Hermit, pretty much love the Hermit in almost every deck that I have. So we've got the Seven of Cups, which I think is so beautiful. 10 of Coins. And we've got 9 of Coins here, which is absolutely fantastic. Just the way that she's got her bird and she's got the lamb and the coins in the basket. And even just the darkness, like I said, the darkness of this card, it feels very, there's something very implicit and comforting about it. I can't explain it. So we've got the Six of Cups there, showing the harmony and connection. And it has that kind of safe garden feel, which I love for the Six of Cups. And we have the Death card. I like the skeleton at the top. I just love it. This is such a unique deck. And the Knight of Cups. And we got the Ace of Swords, the Star. Pretty much choose the Star, the Moon, the Hermit in every deck, and the Moon here, which again is just amazing. I love that gold in the face and the buck. Everything about it is just so dreamy. So that was my kind of 2 cents on a couple of decks that give me a sense of quietness, a sense of peace, and they're also very traditional, so they're very different decks, but to me, I wanted to compile them together in this video to share with you guys because I feel like they give me a similar feeling when I'm using them, and I love that the artwork is actually from the past, and I love exploring that and seeing how it can enrich our present kind of attitude and our present consciousness and our awareness to remember history and to also kind of intuitively remember history by just tuning in and connecting to historical art. I just find that there's something really valuable in that, at least for me. And when I'm in the mood for it, that's the only thing that I want, like I said. So I'll be posting a collective reading for us using these 2 decks on Instagram, so if you'd like to check that out and look at these decks in action and hear more about the general energies that these decks are communicating to us, I'll put a link to my Instagram below the video. If you'd like to learn tarot with me, I'll put the information to the Tarot Self-Therapy course below. We still do have a few spots left open for registration. So if you are interested in learning tarot with me, I'll put the information below the video. It's a 6-week course that takes you in depth into the traditional meanings of the cards, but much deeper into how to connect the cards intuitively in a reading and how to work with your deck in a way that will be empowering for you and will give you insight into any of the emotional challenges that you could be experiencing, and helping you to really learn to use the tarot as a tool for insight and self-healing. So if you're interested in learning tarot with me, I'll put the information below the video. I'd love to work with you. And I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your day and an awesome start to your week. Sending you so much love, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!